Some people command while others just complain. Some move the world while others get tossed around in the process. This is what differentiates powerful people from the powerless. Welcome to Alux. First up, vision versus short-sightedness. The difference between powerful and powerless people often starts with their vision. Powerful people see beyond the horizon. They've got a roadmap, crafting strategies and setting goals to thrive in the future. They understand that tomorrow is eventually going to be today, and they don't want to be caught unprepared. Powerless people just plan to survive the day-to-day, and that's it. And when tomorrow eventually comes, well, they'll figure it out then. They see planning for the future as a tiresome task because they have to take too many things into consideration and actually think. They give away their power to whatever the world has in store for them. Proactivity versus reactivity. Proactivity is the playground of the powerful. They're the chess players of life, always thinking several moves ahead. Instead of waiting for opportunities to come knocking, they build the door and turn the handle themselves. Reactivity, however, is a hallmark of the powerless. They're like leaves in the wind, tossed around by circumstances, always playing catch-up. Powerful people make things happen, and they wouldn't have it any other way. They feel like it's their job to take care of things and make sure everything goes the way they want. On the other hand, powerless people just wait for things to happen randomly so they can react to it. They sit on the sidelines, watching the world move on and waiting for someone to tell them what to do. And if nothing happens, well, they keep on waiting. Bold plays versus indecision. Powerful people have the guts to make life-changing moves, even when faced with uncertainty. It's not that they don't experience fear, but they force themselves to move past it and see what's on the other side. And that's what allows them to make bold plays like moving to another country that suits their needs better, or doing a 180 in their career and changing fields entirely, or completely reinventing themselves. These types of moves require you to be a certain type of person. Powerless people, on the other hand, are stuck at the crossroads of life, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. They're scared of the unknown, the change, and the things that come with that. So they avoid being in uncomfortable situations altogether. They fail to realize the world doesn't pause for their indecision. Self-belief versus self-doubt. Powerful people have an unwavering belief in their abilities and potential. This isn't about arrogance, it's about a deep-rooted confidence that propels them forward. They understand that everything can be learned and everything can be practiced. They know their world is not built by people smarter than them or more special than them, no. So that makes them confident in their own ability to build their own world. Contrast this with the powerless. They're often drowning in a sea of self-doubt. They question their every move, held up by a lack of confidence. They think that people like them are not meant for anything greater than what they were given. They think they lack talent, ability, and intelligence, and they don't see a way beyond that condition. And with that attitude, even the best opportunities and talents can go to waste. Influence versus being loud. Powerful individuals have a circle of influence. They impact decisions, shape opinions, and drive change. People respect their opinions because they have a solid track record and they can back them up with facts. At the end of the day, influence is about presenting a clear way forward that everybody can understand. It's about having a positive impact on a large scale. And by the way, we're talking about good influences here, not the "my dad's a lawyer" kind of stuff. Powerless people believe influence is about how hard you're yelling and how many followers you have. They basically mistake influence with clout. So they go out of their way to build a persona that has the best chances of getting noticed, and they change it every time a new trend comes around. Adaptability versus rigidity. Powerful people are like water. They flow, adapt, and find their way around obstacles. They embrace change, knowing it's the only constant in life. So they focus on the things they can control while embracing and adapting for things they cannot. And this allows them to stay consistent on their path regardless of what the world is doing or where it's going. Meanwhile, the powerless stand rigid like old trees, unable to bend with the wind. They fear change, clinging to outdated methods and ideas. They largely live in the past, and they get defensive every time change needs to happen. And when change inevitably comes, they start blaming the world for no reason. Accountability versus blame shifting. Powerful people never blame anyone, even when it's clearly someone's fault. They understand that blaming someone doesn't automatically make them accountable, it makes them vulnerable and uncomfortable. So they skip the blaming part altogether and go straight toward holding people accountable, including themselves, in a way that allows them to grow. They know that mistakes, oversights, and human errors are bound to happen from time to time. The important thing is to figure out how to recover. In contrast, the powerless are quick to point fingers, constantly shifting blame onto others. For them, the highlight of a mistake is to create drama around it, not to move forward. Continuous learning versus stagnation. The powerful are lifelong learners. They understand that to stop learning is to stop growing. They're constantly updating their knowledge, upgrading their skills, and staying ahead of the curve. And they don't view learning as something they have to do, but as a normal part of life. They move in unison with the world. On the other hand, the powerless are content with stagnation. They feel like having to learn something new is more like a punishment than an opportunity. And that corners them into dead-end jobs and low ceilings. Emotional intelligence versus emotional instability. Powerful people learn to manage and control their emotions. They don't let impulses and first-hand reactions dictate their initial response. And whenever they feel like their emotions are a bit too strong, they take a step back and let things cool down first. Powerless people, on the other hand, always rely on their first instinct, and that makes them temperamental and kind of annoying to deal with. They give off a sense that they're coming from a place of insecurity and doubt, so people eventually end up never taking them seriously. Strategic thinking versus rolling the dice. Powerful people move with purpose and intent. They write things down, they make timelines, and have a pretty good idea of how things are going to happen. It's not that they overthink and overplan, but they tend to at least have a general idea of what things will look like, and they stick to that plan long enough to see it come together. On the other hand, powerless people just roll the dice and hope for the best. They're usually the ones who get in at the worst time possible and get out at the worst time possible as well. They always seem to have a bad sense of timing and direction. They gamble with the odds, playing games that are designed to take advantage of people just like them. Resilience versus fragility. Powerful people can take a hit and move on because that's life. Stupid things happen sometimes. And one thing they do really well is to set up a tempo that gives them enough momentum to make it through the tough times. They know a bad situation isn't going to last forever, so they keep on pushing. Powerless people, on the other hand, dramatize any small inconvenience like it's the end of the world. They constantly complain about things not working out, and they always seem to get stuck in awkward situations that seem impossible to bounce back from. Empathy versus apathy. The powerful understand the power of empathy. They connect with people on a deeper level, understanding their motivations, fears, and aspirations. This empathy allows them to build strong relationships and lead effectively. Those who lack power often exhibit apathy, indifferent to the needs and feelings of others. They're like islands, isolated and disconnected. They make zero effort to understand how and why others might think differently, and they have a me versus the them mentality. They think they're lone wolves, when in reality, they're just lost sheep. Leadership versus authority. Leadership is a defining trait of the powerful. They know how to motivate others and help them focus toward a common goal. They're extremely good communicators and extremely efficient at working together with others. Powerless people, however, well, they only understand authority, and there are plenty of powerless people who ended up in authority positions due to various reasons, who have some kind of God complex. For them, it's only their way or the highway. They see a difference in opinion as insubordination, and those that follow these kinds of people do it out of fear. View on money. Powerful people understand that money is a resource that makes things happen. They know how to get it and how to use it properly. They treat money purely as a tool. Powerless people love money. For them, it's a status symbol, and they want to get as much of it as possible just to show others that they have it. That's why you see them spending so much on appearances. It's the only thing they can do that makes them feel actually powerful. And that creates a deep and troubled relationship with money as a whole. They're blinded by it, forever chasing the dollar bill. And finally, how they position themselves. Because powerful people make other people feel powerful too. Powerless people make others feel powerless as well, so they can feel better by contrast. It's that simple. When someone is down, they bring others down with them. They feel less miserable when everyone around them is miserable too. This is a type of mentality that keeps them stuck in life forever. These are the main things that differentiate powerful people from the powerless. And of course, we do have a bonus saved for you. True powerful people don't chase after power. They just stay true to their cause and mind their own business, unshaken by outside factors. And that is what makes them truly powerful. We'll see you back here next time, Aluxer. Take care.